Here we are standing on Little Egypt Road, looking down upon the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike, abandoned since late November of 1968. Here we can quickly see how a landfill replaced a bridge that used to carry Little Egypt Road over the turnpike. This map gives us a good idea about where we are at here on Little Egypt Road, where it crosses or used to cross the abandoned turnpike. And as the map shows, we are about 2 miles from the east portal of the Sidling Hill Tunnel to our west, and about 8 to 9/10 of a mile from Pumping Station Road, the section that, as we talked about earlier, should be in the future open to the public, as the turnpike has no use for it. Remember, here we are facing westbound towards the direction of Pittsburgh. But now let's quickly cross the street and come over here to look eastbound on the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike. Here we can take a quick look at Little Egypt Road and see the mound of dirt that was placed here in place of the old bridge. In this image, we can see where the bridge was removed at and the earth fill-in where we are currently standing, and how the abandoned turnpike comes to an abrupt dead end now at this fill-in. The bridge was removed in late '06 or early '07 and therefore permanently severed the easternmost couple of miles of abandoned pike into 2 sections here at Little Egypt Road. From where we are standing right now, it is about 1 mile east from here to where the old turnpike and the new turnpike rejoin. And I do wish to stress right now that this 1 mile section of the easternmost end of the old turnpike is permanently off limits to the public. You should not trespass on it, and I'll give you one good reason why. On this map, we can see this last easternmost 1 mile stretch of abandoned pike, and we can also see that about 6/10 of a mile east from where we're standing, the Pennsylvania State Police have a shooting range. Incidentally, this shooting range used to be back where the service plaza used to be at, but when that section of old turnpike was turned over to the public, it was closed and moved here. Now, for those who are curious about seeing where the old route and the new route converge at, I will give you this clue. If you are driving eastbound on the Current Turnpike, look for mile marker 173.6, which is a little bit past the Sidling Hill Service Plaza. And right after that mile marker, there is a pull-off area on the right-hand side. If you pull into this pull-off area where trucks will frequently be parked at and turn yourself around, you will see the old turnpike veering off to the west a little bit to the south of the Current Turnpike. When I took this picture, you can see the gate was open, but remember, it's only 4/10 of a mile from here to where the shooting range is at. In this picture, we are standing just inside of the open gate on the abandoned turnpike, facing eastbound where we can see the Current Turnpike at its junction point with the abandoned. And now let's take one final look at the abandoned turnpike facing westbound at the junction point with the Current Turnpike. We can notice the Sidling Hill mountaintop in the distance. If the bridges at Pumping Station Road and Little Egypt Road had never been removed, from here it would be about a 3-mile drive to the east portal of Sidling Hill Tunnel. But of course, this 3-mile section has been divided since those 2 bridges were removed. And now as we turn around and head back to the car, we can see that section of abandoned turnpike that hopefully will someday be open to the public, unlike the very most eastern end. And now as we take off on Little Egypt Road southbound heading back to Route 30, the first thing we'll see on our right-hand side is that house whose backyard connects with the abandoned turnpike, the middle section, which hopefully someday will be open to the public. And if that section of abandoned pike is someday open to the public, well, this house we just passed would certainly make a nice bed and breakfast for people to stay at, I think. From the crossing of the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike, it is about 3.7 miles on Little Egypt Road to get back to Route 30. But our first intersection will be in just 1.2 miles after we pass a few scenic farms here. I'd like to mention quickly that Pumping Station Road is probably the more direct route between US Route 30 and the abandoned turnpike. However, Little Egypt Road is probably the more scenic alternative. At this intersection, Little Egypt Road turns left. A right turn here would put us on Leydig Road, which would actually take us back to Pumping Station Road, the road we came in on off of Route 30. I believe it's about 0.6 of a mile to go back to Pumping Station Road. But anyway, we will continue heading to Route 30 along Little Egypt Road. At this intersection ahead, Little Egypt Road turns right, and at this intersection we will have traveled about 1.6 miles from the abandoned turnpike. And that means from here we've got about a little over 2 miles left to go before we can be back at US Route 30. Just ahead now, we will reach the end of Little Egypt Road at its intersection with US Route 30. And at this intersection with US 30, we will be about 0.8 of a mile east of the Route 30 intersection with Pumping Station Road, the other route to and from the abandoned turnpike.